Good evening, students. Welcome to Sankalp learning classes. So, ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ವಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ಡ್ synopsis and few questions related to this chapter. So today also we are going to discuss some questions from this chapter. Okay, yes, I hope all are ready to listen the class. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ರೆಡಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. Yes, let us start with the first question. Functional megaspore in flowering plant develops into endosperm, ovule, embryo sac, embryo. So dear students, so if you know the answer, please write your answer in chat box. Functional megaspore in flowering plants develops into endosperm, ovule, embryo sac, embryo. So in case of the flowering plants, so 4 megaspores are produced by the megaspore mother cell, MMC, so which produces the 4 megaspore. So out of 4, 3 degenerate and only 1 become functional. So this functional megaspore, so that will develop into endosperm. No, endosperm develop from the primary endosperm nucleus, and ovule, so that is the fertilized, so that will get fertilized ovule, that will not develop from the megaspore. Embryo sac, so the embryo sac, the correct answer, that is the embryo sac that develop from the, not ovule, the correct answer is embryo sac that develop from the megaspore, that is the functional megaspore. And embryo, that is developed after the fertilization. The zygote develop into embryo after the fertilization. So the correct answer, that is the embryo sac. Next question. Which of the following is similar to autogamy but requires pollinators? So it is autogamy but it requires pollinators. Option A, geitonogamy, clistogamy, apogamy, xenogamy. So here, which is similar to the autogamy. Autogamy means where the transfer of the, so in a flower, transfer of the pollen grains takes place to the stigma of the same flower. Within the same flower, the pollination takes place, means that is the autogamy. But xenogamy, what is the meaning of xenogamy? So where it is not a type of autogamy. Xenogamy means it takes place in between the two plants which are having the male and female flower in the separate plant. Apogamy, that is the type of asexual reproduction. Clistogamy means, so that is autogamous type of the reproduction, because the flower is closed, the transfer of the pollen grains takes place within the flower because the flower is closed. So the correct answer here, that is the correct answer, geitonogamy. Option A, geitonogamy is the correct answer. So here, in case of geitonogamy, transfer of the pollen grains takes place within the same plant. So within the same species. So that is genetically same plant, but different flowers in the same plant. Okay, so just imagine in a plant. So here there is one flower and Here another flower. The pollination takes place in between these two flowers within the same plant, that is called as the gytonogamy. Next question. What is the function of filiform apparatus? What is the function of filiform apparatus? So option A, guide the entry of pollen tube. Second one, recognize the suitable pollen at the stigma. Third one, which produces the nectar. Fourth one, stimulate the division of the generative cell. So filiform apparatus, that is present in the embryo sac, right? So just imagine. So these are the synergids and this is the egg cell. And here finger like filiform apparatus, you can observe central nucleus and these are antipodals, right? So here these are the filiform apparatus that is found at the micropylar region, right? So stimulate the division of generative cell? No, that is the wrong answer. Produces the nectar? No. Recognize the suitable pollen at the stigma? No. So it is not able to recognize the suitable pollen at the stigma. Then guide the entry of pollen tube. Yes, this is the correct answer. Option 1 guides the entry of pollen tube. So that is the correct answer. That is a function of the filiform apparatus. A mass of nutritive material outside the embryo sac is called protoplasm, pericarp, ectoderm, perisperm. Yes, what is the answer for this question? So, mass of nutritive material outside the embryo sac. Just imagine this is the embryo sac. So, around this embryo sac, some mass of nutritive material is present, so that is called as the nucellus. So after the development, the nucellus that develop into perisperm. So the correct answer, protoplasm, that is the wrong one. Pericarp, so that is the fruit wall. So the ovary wall that develop into fruit wall, that is called as the pericarp. Ectoderm, and the correct one, that is the perisperm. The correct answer for the fourth question, that is the perisperm. Next question. Which of the following statement is correct? Sporogenous tissue is haploid. The hard outer layer of pollen is called intine. Tapetum nourishes the developing pollen grains. Microspores are produced by the endothecium. Yes, the correct option C. Okay, yes, correct one. Sporogenous tissue is haploid. The sporogenous tissue, that is diploid in condition, not the haploid, that is diploid. So this statement is wrong. The hard outer layer of pollen grain, that is called as the exine, not intine, that is called as exine. Here, tapetum nourishes the developing pollen grain. Yes, that is the correct answer. Tapetum nourishes the developing pollen grain. So, this one is the correct one. Microspores are produced by endothecium. So, these are not produced by the endothecium. So, they are produced by the microspore mother cell. So, that is developed by the sporogenous tissue, right? So here endothecium is the wrong answer. Fourth one is also wrong statement. The correct statement, that is option C, tapetum nourishes the developing pollen. Next question. Which of the following fruit is produced by parthenocarpy? What is the meaning of parthenocarpy? Parthenocarpy is that is formation of fruits without fertilization. Without fertilization. Without fertilization. Brinjal, apple, banana, jackfruit. Yes, the correct answer is option C, banana. Banana is example for the parthenocarpic fruit. Next question. The process of formation of seeds without fertilization in flowering plants is known as budding, apomixis, sporulation and somatic hybridization. So here budding, that is the formation of the outgrowth like this. So that is not the correct answer. So it is the formation of the seeds without fertilization. That is the apomixis. What is the definition of the apomixis? That is the apomixis. That is the formation of the seeds without fertilization. Then sporulation and the somatic hybridization. These two are the wrong answer. Somatic hybridization and the sporulation. Next question. A dioecious flowering plant prevents geitonogamy and xenogamy, autogamy and xenogamy, autogamy and geitonogamy, clistogamy and xenogamy. So choose the correct answer properly. What is the correct answer for this question? Yes, let us see the D. Okay. Dioecious condition means where the male and female flowers that is in the different plant. So dioecious flowering plants prevents the geitonogamy and xenogamy. No, xenogamy is not prevented. Xenogamy takes place in this plant. Autogamy and xenogamy. So xenogamy is there in option means that is the wrong one. Autogamy and geitonogamy, clistogamy and xenogamy. In case of clistogamy, so the dioecious plants they do not undergo this clistogamous type of the pollination, because clistogamy means flowers that is closed in condition, and xenogamy, that is not possible in that is the only method of the transfer of the pollen grain. So the correct answer that is autogamy and geitonogamy. Xenogamy means here the transfer of the pollen grains takes place in between the flowers of the two plants. Means here autogamy is also not possible, geitonogamy is also not possible. So the dioecious plants, flowering plant prevents the option C, autogamy and geitonogamy. Next question. The female gametophyte of typical dicot, the time of fertilization is? Yes, we'll see the answer. Is it 8 celled, 7 celled, 6 celled, 5-celled. So here in case of the female gametophyte, so that is the embryo sac. In case of embryo sac, you find the two and two synergids and the one egg cell, central cell, and the antipodals, three antipodals. So what is the correct answer? Is it 8-celled or 7-celled? Yes, that is the 7-celled stage because total 7 cells are there. Yes, option B is the correct answer. Total 7 cells you can count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cells are there, but nucleus that is 8. 7 celled, 8 nucleated stage. 7 celled, 8 nucleated stage, that is the correct option. Option B, 7 celled stage. Next question. Both chasmogamous and clistogamous flowers are present in Helianthus, Commelina, Rosa, and the last option that is Gossypium. Here, chasmogamous as well as clistogamous, the flower that produces the two types of the flowers. Chasmogamous means so which is not closed, they have the exposed stigma and the anthers, but clistogamous means they are the closed flowers. So these both type of the flowers that can be observed in option B. Yes, option B is the correct answer, that is at the Commelina. Please note down the answer. Next question. Male and female flowers are present on different plants, that is the dioecious condition, to ensure the xenogamy in case of papaya, bottle gourd, maize, all of these. Here, male and female flowers are present in the different plants. They are not on the same plant. That condition is called as the dioecious condition. So, to ensure the xenogamy in. So, example for the xenogamy, that is papaya. The correct answer, yes, that is papaya. So, here, xenogamy type of the pollen transfer takes place in these plants. That is the papaya. Which of the following is not a water pollinated plant? Zostera, Vallisneria, Hydrilla, and the last one, that is cannabis. Yes, which of the following is not a water pollinated plant? Yes, which of the following is not a water pollinated plant? Not a water pollinated plant. Yes. In case of the Zostera, that is the water pollinated plant. Vallisneria, that is also water pollinated plant, and Hydrilla also water pollinated plant. But only cannabis, option D, cannabis, it is not a water pollinated plant. Option D is the correct answer. Endospermic seeds are found in option A castor, option B barley, option C coconut, option D all of these. Yes, endospermic seeds are found in. Choose the correct answer. Yes, what is the correct answer? Here option A. Endospermic seeds are found in castor. Yes, in castor endospermic seeds are present. Barley, that is also endospermic seed, and coconut, this also contain the cellular endosperm. Cellular endosperm. So the correct answer, all of this, option D is the correct answer. Next question. Albuminous seeds, food is stored in dash, and in non-albuminous seeds it is stored in dash. Endosperm and cotyledons. Cotyledons and endosperm, nucellus and cotyledons, endosperm and radicle. Yes, what is the correct answer? A. Okay. We'll see the correct answer. Albuminous seeds, they store the food is stored in albuminous seeds, means they have the endosperm. So that is the endosperm. And non-albuminous seeds, it is stored in the cotyledons. Option A is the correct answer. Yes, option A is the correct answer. For the 14th question, option A. Next question. Persistent nucellus is called as dash, and it is found in dash. Persistent nucellus is called as, what it is called? Persistent nucellus. Perisperm, endosperm. So endosperm, that is the residual, the primary endosperm nucleus that develop into a primary endosperm nucleus that forms the endosperm, right? That is the nutritive tissue for the developing embryo. But the persistent nucellus, that is called as the perisperm, that is the correct one, and which is found in groundnut or black pepper. So this is found in black pepper. So here also option A is the correct answer, that is perisperm and the black pepper. Okay, please note down this question. Next question. Identify the wrong statements regarding the post fertilization development. Okay, the ovary wall develops into pericarp. The outer integument of ovule develops into tegmen. The fusion of nucleus that forms a triple nucleus develops into endosperm. The ovule develops into seed. Which of the following statement regarding the post fertilization event? So that is wrong. Okay. Here, the ovule develops into seed. That is the correct statement. The fusion of nucleus, so that develops into endosperm. The primary endosperm nucleus that develop into endosperm. That is also correct statement. The ovary wall develops into pericarp. Yes, this is also correct one. The ovary wall that develops into pericarp. That is the correct one. The outer integument of the ovule develops into tegmen. No, this is the wrong statement. The outer integument. There are two integuments, right? So it is like this. The two integuments. So the outer integuments that develop into testa and the inner one that develop into tegmen. Testa and tegmen. Next question. Polyembryony commonly occurs in. Example for the polyembryony: banana, tomato, potato, citrus. Yes. Occurrence of the more than one embryo within a seed is called as the polyembryony. But it commonly occurs in banana, tomato, potato, and citrus. The correct answer, the correct option, that is the citrus plants. Option D is the correct answer. So, where the polyembryony occurs. Please note down this question. We'll move to the next question. An embryo may sometimes develop from any cell of embryo sac other than egg. It is termed as apospory, apogamy, parthenogenesis, and parthenocarpy. Embryo may sometimes develop into. Yes, what is the answer? D is not a correct answer. Develop into. Read the statement correctly. An embryo may sometimes develop from any cell of the embryo sac. So, other than the egg, it is termed as what it is called. It is a type of the reproduction that is called as apogamy. The correct answer, that is the apogamy. Option B is the correct one. Option B, not C. Option B. Read the correct statement. Next question. During microsporogenesis, meiosis occurs in endothecium, microspore mother cell, microspore tetrad, pollen grain. Yes, this is very easy. What is the answer for this question? Yes, anybody just comment your answer in the chat box. Endothecium, that does not involve in the microsporogenesis, right? Just that is the wall layer of the anther. Pollen grains, they released after the meiosis. Microspore tetrad, they are formed after the meiosis. The microspores are four in number. They are attached and they are covered by a membrane that is called as the microspore tetrad. Here, always remember the microspore mother cell, so that undergo the microsporogenesis. The meiosis occurs in the microsporo mother cell, which undergo the meiosis and form the haploid microspores. The microspores are developed from the microspore mother cell. Option C, yes. Not option C. Not option C. Option B, microspore mother cell. Next question. From among the sets of terms given below, identify those that are associated with the gynoecium. So, associated with the gynoecium, which parts are associated with the gynoecium? Stigma, ovule, embryo sac, placenta, thalamus, pistil, style, ovule, ovule, ovary, embryo sac, tapetum, ovule, stamen, ovary, embryo sac. Here, stigma, that is also part of the female reproductive system, and placenta, that is not involved in the uh, gynoecium, right? So this is the wrong one. Here, thalamus, that is not involved in the gynoecium. Ovule, ovary, embryo sac, and the tapetum. Tapetum, that is involved in the microsporogenesis, where the developing pollen grains are nourished by the developing microspores are nourished by the tapetum, that is in the anther. Ovule, stamen, ovary, embryo sac. Here, stamen, that is the male reproductive structure. So that is also wrong one. But here, see the option A, stigma, ovule, embryo sac and placenta. Right. So here, the correct one, that is the first one. Placenta, that is also that is the placentation, helpful for the attachment ovules, that is attached to the ovary by with the help of placentation, right? So placenta, that is the cushion like structure that is present in the female reproductive structure, that is in the ovary. Yes, this is also correct one. So placenta, that is also developed in the females, in case of the animals, human beings, during the development of the fetus, right? So this placenta, so that is also present in the ovary, that helps for the attachment of the ovules to the ovary. So the option A, stigma, ovule, embryo sac and the placenta. That is the correct one. Next question. Which of the following flowers can produce seeds even without pollinators? Without pollinators, are they able to produce the seeds? Here, water lily. So here pollinator, so that is the insects. Insects are the pollinators in case of the water lily, water hyacinth. So these are not pollinated by the water, they are pollinated by the insects. And yucca, it is also insect pollinated plant. So insects are required, means pollinators are required. But when you see the clistogamous flowers and the oxalis, so they do not need the pollinators because the autogamy, in case of the clistogamous flowers, autogamy or autogamy, mainly autogamy takes place in these plants. Clistogamous flowers of the oxalis, where the autogamy takes place, because the clistogamous flowers means they do not open at all. Next question. Which features of pollen grains are found in wind pollinated flowers? So which features of pollen grains, so that helps to the, that is carried by the wind, which mucilaginous covering that is present in case of the water pollinated flowers, the pollen grain, that is the mucilaginous, that is in case of the water pollinated flowers. Light and ribbon like, that is also in case of the water pollinated. Light and non-sticky, the pollen grains are light and non-sticky. Here heavy and sticky. So here the correct answer is light and non-sticky. Heavy and sticky, that is the wrong answer. The correct one, light and non-sticky. Pollen grains are light as well as they are non-sticky. Next question. Apomixis is characteristic of members of Asteraceae family, water lily, Zostera, castor. Here, apomixis, that is the, yes, here option A. Okay. Apomixis, that is the production of the embryo more than without fertilization, production of the seeds without fertilization, right? So that is called as the apomixis. Sorry, production of the seeds without fertilization, that is called as the apomixis. Members of Asteraceae family, yes, that is the correct answer. Members of Asteraceae family, they show the apomixis character, not water lily, Zostera, castor. So the correct option, that is the members of Asteraceae family. Please note down the answer, correct answer. Next question. Given below statements, two statements. One is labeled as assertion A and other is labeled as reason R. Assertion A, yucca plant and moth cannot complete their life cycles without each other. Reason, the moth deposits its egg in the ovary of the flower, that is the flower of the yucca plant. In turn, it gets pollinated by moth. So that is the assertion and reason type of the question. Choose the correct answer from the option given below. So the which one is correct here? A, assertion is true. Yes, this sentence is true, right? Yucca plant and moth cannot complete their life cycles without each other. This sentence is true. But R is false. R is not false. So option A you can eliminate. A is false. So this is also wrong. A is not false. A is the correct one. Both A and R are true. Yes, both A and R are true. And R is the correct explanation of A. See the question. Why the yucca and moth, they are not able to complete their life cycle without each other? Because the moth deposits its egg in the ovary of the flower. In turn, the flower gets pollinated by the moth. Okay, the flowers are not able to pollinate without the moth, and moths also not able to complete their life cycle without the yucca flower. They lay the egg in that. The correct one, the correct option, that is the C. Both A and R true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Option C is the correct answer. Next question. Match the least one with the least two. Okay, so here you have two lists are given and you have to choose the correct option given below. See here, egg apparatus, embryo sac, pollen grain, triploid, 7-celled 8-nucleate, male gametophyte, primary endosperm nucleus, 2 synergids and 1 egg cell. See here, which one the answer you know? Egg apparatus. Egg apparatus means 7-celled 8-nucleate? No, that is not male gametophyte. Not PN. Here, the correct one. 1 with 4. 2 synergids and 1 egg cell. So, here A4. So, in these three options, we can find A4. So, eliminate the fourth option. Then you see the embryo sac. You know that embryo sac, that is the 7-celled and 8-nucleate stage. So B1. So B1, just to check the second option. So by using this second option only, you can find the answer. So B1 is present only in the option B. So remaining A and C, that is wrong. So you can go to the option B and check the answer. Pollen grain, that is C2, that is the male gametophyte, that is correct. And triploid, that is the primary endosperm nucleus, that is the correct one. So like this, you can find out the answer for the question. Let's note down this question. Next question. Which flowers are large, colorful, fragrant and rich in nectar? Majority of insect pollinated flowers, majority of water pollinated flowers, wind pollinated flowers, and again water pollinated flowers, some water pollinated flowers. Yes, what's the correct answer? Large, colorful fragrant and rich in nectar. So these all features are required for the insect pollinated flowers. The remaining one, they don't need this one. So these are the abiotic method of the pollination, right? Only majority of the insects pollinated flowers. So option A is the correct answer. Next question. Coconut water from tender coconut is free nuclear endosperm, cellular endosperm, endocarp, mesocarp. Yes. What is the answer? Coconut water from the tender coconut, that is the free nuclear endosperm. Sorry, I told cellular. So it's not a cellular, it's a free nuclear endosperm. So that is the endosperm that is in the liquid form, that is the free nuclear endosperm. And what about the mesocarp and the endocarp and the cellular endosperm? Here, mesocarp, that is the layer of the fruit in case of the drupe type of the fruit. Endocarp means inner layer, mesocarp means the middle layer of the fruit in case of the drupe. Note down the question. Next question. The male gametes from pollen tube are released into option A, egg cell, option B, central cell, one of the synergid, one of the antipodals. So what's the correct answer? The male gametes from the pollen tube released into egg cell, central cell, one of the synergids and the antipodals. Yes, what's the answer? One of the synergid. Yes, C is the correct answer. The male gametes are released into one of the synergids, which cells present in the ovule of the flower, which guide the pollen gametes how to move inside the embryo sac. So that is the correct one of the synergid. Match the least one with the least two. Least one, hypocotyle, epicotyle, scutellum, pericarp. Terminates with the plumule or stem tip. Cotyledon in the grass family develop from the wall of the ovary, terminate at its lower end in the radicle or the root tip. Here the correct option. So just you know the pericarp, right? That is the fruit wall. So develop from the wall of the ovary. Pericarp, that develop from the wall of the ovary. So I hope you know this, what is pericarp. Here D4, D3, right? So see, if you check this option, if you know the answer for this pericarp, you will find the answer correct directly. That is B, option B, that is D3 is there, no? D3. So D3 wrote in the option B is the correct one. So let's check with the other one. So scutellum, what is scutellum? Cotyledon in the grass family. Yes, that you find in the diagram, the embryo of the monocot. So that contain the scutellum. That is the correct one. C2. Yes, C2 is correct. D3 is correct. Then Epicotyle. Epicotyle means terminates with the plumule or the stem tip. That is the that terminates with that. And the last one, hypocotyle, that is terminate at its lower end in the radical or the root tip. Hypocotyle that terminates with the radical, and epicotyle that terminates with the plumule or the shoot tip. So option B is the correct one. Which of the following substances cannot degraded by enzyme, any enzyme? Option A, cellulose, pectin, lignin, sporopollenin. Yes, you know the answer for this question. Option D, sporopollenin. Yes, that is the correct answer. Cellulose, pectin and lignin. So that is not uh, that is degraded by the enzyme, but not the sporopollenin. So it is present in the outer wall of the pollen grain. The correct answer, that is the sporopollenin. Next question. Production of embryo sac from the functional megaspore involves single meiotic division, first meiotic division, then two successive mitotic divisions, first meiotic division, then three successive mitotic division, three successive mitotic division. See here, the functional megaspore that is formed by megaspore mother cell. So which is diploid in condition, which form the functional megaspore. So this is the haploid in condition, megaspore that is haploid. So this haploid cell again it will not undergo the meiotic division. So you can delete this first meiotic division and the so meiotic division will be not there because this production of embryo sac from the functional megaspore. Embryo sac, how it is developed? So single functional megaspore is there. So it undergo the first mitotic division and from the two cell stage, then four cell stage, then 8 cell stage. So 1, 2 and 3 successive mitotic divisions. So see here, this is the functional megaspore which undergo the mitosis and form the two functional cells, and then it forms the 4 cell stage, then it forms the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cell stage. So after that, characteristic arrangement of the cell takes place in the cell and embryo sac is formed, right? So here first meiotic division, second one, third one. So 3 meiotic divisions are there. So the correct option, option D, 3 successive, mitotic division. Next question. Which of the following families shows the apomixis? Fabaceae, Solanaceae, Liliaceae, Asteraceae. So already we discussed this, that is Asteraceae family. So that shows the apomixis. Option D is the correct one. Next question. An egg apparatus contains, what it contains? Egg apparatus, an egg, two antipodals, an egg secondary nucleus, an egg, two synergids, antipodal cell and the synergid. Egg apparatus that contain, what it contain? Yes, comment your answer. Try to find out the answer for this question. D is not correct answer. Try to find out the answer for this question. Please note down this question and try to find out the answer. Yes, dear students, Today we discussed some questions related to the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. I hope these questions are useful for your preparation. So if you have any doubts, you can write in the comment box. Thank you. We'll continue in the next class.